Welcome back, everybody. Today we're going to explore the metronome. Now, for some of you, you will know what the metronome is and you've been practicing for a long time with the metronome. But I know many people are a bit unsure or unclear how to use the metronome in their practice. And that's for all of those people who are not sure how to do it. Or maybe they knew how to do it and now they're more advanced and they want to explore different ways of using the metronome if they haven't used it for a while. I think a metronome should be something we want to be using really every day. It has to be something that it needs to be part of our own practice because it's going to help us a lot with our sense of pulse and rhythm. In fact, if you ask any professional musician, whether it's in an orchestra or even if it's in a pop or a rock band or a jazz player, the sense of pulse and rhythm is one of the key things to be able to play music with other people. It's very important to have the rhythm and the pulse internalized. And to be able to do that, the metronome can really, really help us. So these are the first few tips from beginner level of metronome to more advanced level of metronome. So to start with, I wanted to explore the very, very, very beginning level of metronome. If you never used it before, or if you're not sure how to use it, this is where you want to start from. So we want to make sure that you have a metronome at home where you practice, right next to your instrument, right next to wherever else you have your music, all of that. You need to have a metronome there. Now you could have a physical metronome, those ones that go click, click, click. I don't have one with me, but I'm sure you've seen them a lot. If you don't have one of those, nowadays there's no excuse. There are hundreds of different apps for the mobiles. There's even online, you can find good metronomes. I'm using one today because I can use my phone right now because I'm recording it. So there's lots of different ways you can use metronome. You just need to find one that suits you, that is clear, that is also loud enough. You want to make sure that it's really loud so that you can hear on top of your playing. Yes, you don't want to be playing quietly to be able to hear the metronome. So loud is very important. We want to make sure that we can choose the time signature. So that means whether it's in 2, in 3, in 4, in 6, whatever it is, we want to make sure that we can change it as well. And also that it's very, very easy to change the tempo, whether it's fast or slow. So we're going to start with a very simple counting the beats. The beat is like a heartbeat, is the main part that goes through while we play or while we sing a piece. So it's not the rhythm, it never changes, it's always the same, and it's particular to each piece. Like one piece might be faster than other, and even within a piece it might change, but it stays the same for the duration of that section. So first of all, we need to check the time signature that we want to start. Just for now, we're going to keep it in 4, as in 4/4, which is the common time. Most music, especially modern music, is 4/4. So we're going to keep it in 4/4. And just for now, my setting I put it in 60. And what we're going to do is we're going to count first, and then we're going to play a very simple scale that everybody can play. So, loud and clear. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. Very important we get the sense of where the 1 is. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. Keep in your head. 3, 4. Maybe you can count for me. 2, 3, 4. What we're going to do now is, while we count, we're going to play one note every 2 beats. So if these were crotchets, quarter notes, we're going to play half notes or minims. 3, 4. So simple 1-octave D major scale. We can do it in any instrument. Just to get the sense of pulse going on. Now what we're going to do is, we're going to do a longer note. We're going to count to 4. So 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 3, 4. 3, 4. Okay, so those were whole notes or semi-briefs, if you're in Britain. So now that we have that, we're gonna try the other way around. We're gonna keep the same beat, because that's what we want to keep the same beat inside, so we internalize it. And what we're going to do is we're going to do quavers, or 8 notes, which means we're going to play 2 notes per each beat. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 2, and 3, and 4, and so the aim is to make sure that every 2 notes is exactly with the beat. Now we're gonna do 16 quavers or semi-quavers. Just 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, we can do it also slurred. And the tempo should be always the same. We always keep to the same beat. We're gonna stop the metronome for a second. Now that we have this is really simple, but sometimes we need to do it this way to get the sense of pulse. Then we can go into a piece and we can put the beat and we can see if we have crotchets, as in every note is 1 beat, if we have minims, or if we have quavers, how do they fit within the beat that we have? Okay? So that's the first thing. We can use the metronome for many, many things. And one of the many important things is that before we start playing, we count in. So for example, if I was going to play something really simple like Twinkle, in the same tempo. So we're going to play 1 per beat. Bum, bum, bum. Now before we start, I want you to count with me. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Etc. So if we get that in our head, in our heart, before we start, then it's really clear when we need to keep going. And then we just need to make sure that we keep to the beat all the way through. Now, what else can we use the metronome for? We can use the metronome for slow work. When we have a really difficult passage, we want to slow it down so we can actually play all the notes correctly and do it many, many times. We have a metronome, we will make sure that we keep to the same speed. And once we do that, then we can go and say, okay, now we're going to play it a little bit faster. And just do it a little bit faster. And then we put the metronome a tiny bit faster, and then we do it again. And make sure we repeat it a few times within 1 speed, before we move on to the next one. Another thing we can use the metronome for, can be quite useful, is vibrato. So when we start in vibrato, even later, when we want to develop vibrato even better, to count the beats, for example, just to keep with the same beat, I'm going to make sure that I do 2 waves of vibrato each time there's a beat. Or maybe we want to do 3. Or 4. Then we get a sense of what vibrato should be exactly like. And then we can play around with the speed a bit better. So, very, very important. Number 1, have a metronome handy. Number 2, practice with it daily. You can use it for scales, you can use it for sight reading, you can use it for vibrato, you can use it for many, many things. But if we keep doing metronome work at different levels for different things, it will internalize. And then when we go to play in an orchestra, hopefully very soon, if we go and play with other friends, chamber music, in a band, that sense of pulse is going to be with us. And that is going to help us a lot to be able to play with other people. So I hope this is helpful. And please let me know if you want more tips on metronome. I will keep doing some videos on metronome like you have seen. And if there's anything else new, then I will keep contacting you about it. Thank you.